and welcome to the show. It is sick Monty the Yank. With me, as always, is hopefully not sick Boggsimus. How you doing, Bog?
Actually, I was very sick yesterday.
Oh no, what'd you do?
Yeah. I just had like a bad cold.
Like the walking farts?
No, that doesn't really come with a cold, but
It can.
I mean it could, but no, that's not what I had. But I think everybody's kind of getting over it. But yeah, other than that, I'm great.
Oh, good. So sorry in advance. I already have a crappy voice, so it's going to be a crappy voice with a little bit of sickness behind it. So I've been fighting a sinus infection for like 2 weeks now. So, how's everything going other than the walking farts?
Great, man. I mean, had my band's CD release on Friday.
Yep.
Brave the Sea. You were there for some of it. What did you think of it?
I thought it needed more pirates.
I think it had too many pirates. Did
It
you did
may
you
have had a couple pirates.
Did you leave before we threw the treasure chest pinata into the
Mm-hmm.
crowd? You
I
left
did miss
before
that. I'm
that?
sorry.
Oh man. So we had a treasure chest pinata full of hard candy that we threw into the crowd, and the crowd got
Awesome.
rowdy, and one of my buddies got kicked in the face with it.
Oh. Uh oh.
Yeah. And that was his first concert he's ever been to. So first concert he's ever been to gets kicked in the face with a treasure chest pinata. Dreams do come true.
It can happen to you. The opening song is actually from Brave the Sea. The song is A Pirate Life for Me, correct? A
A
Pirate's Life.
pirate's life,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh, Release party. You can pick up their CD now or soon.
Soon. So it will be available on for streaming on Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Music soon. There's been some kind of delay with that, but we're working through it. And then we should have it to where you can order an album online. So
Awesome. So you can check me out at Monty the Yank on Twitter, montytheyank at gmail.com if you want to get a hold of me. You can check out Mr. Boggsimus
at Boggsimus Games on Twitter, Boggsimus Games on Facebook, boggsimusgames.com, bravetheseaband.com, Brave the Sea on Facebook. I think it's at pirate and then the letter A on Twitter is how you get a hold of us there.
And if you are listening to this by nefarious means, you're pirating a free podcast, you can check us out at with a small package .podbean.com. And we are going to be working on a website and everything, but we have like 6 listeners. So thank you, whoever's listening. But as we get more, we are going to grow with you. So tonight, the coup de grace of the night, we want to talk a little ghost hunting and how you say over sensationalized it can be on television.
Well, yeah, we've delved into this a bit. I think on the first episode, um, a typical investigation usually an average lasts between 6 to 8 hours. That's the middle of the night, 6 to 8 hours. And would you want to watch an episode of a ghost show that's 8 hours long?
Yes.
So you'd want to watch a show of people walking around in the dark, and you can hear the floors creaking, and nothing really happens for 8 hours.
Yes.
I think you're lying. I think you're saying yes just to.
Do you want the Reader's Digest of what happens during a ghost hunt, or do you want the ghost hunt?
Correct. So that is why this a lot of shows are very action packed. Um, some of them are recorded over the span of multiple days. You
Mm-hmm.
have different crews. Plus, so if you have, let's say, 4 investigators, and I'm going to bring up a calculator real quick because I'm horrible at mathing without a calculator. Um,
The
so
answer
let's
is
say
I.
so let's say you have 4 investigators, and I didn't need a calculator for this, but I thought I would. I got ahead of myself. So
4 times 5.
Yeah. So let's say you have 4 investigators and you record 8 solid hours of recordings on your digital recorders. That's 32 hours of stuff to listen back to.
Yeah.
These shows
listen back to.
Yes. These shows have the benefit of having other people listen to and do evidence reveals. So when you're a small time investigator like me, you don't have a team of plebeians to listen back to your recordings. You have to do it yourself. That's actually why a lot of times on investigations, I don't use a freaking recorder because I don't want to listen to it.
Because I want to listen back.
I'm the guy that I just want to go and experience things, man.
Go to the man.
Yeah, man. I don't go there to like record it, man. I go there to like feel it, man.
Yeah.
But
do you smoke weed before you do it then? That's what you're saying.
I do not. I have ADHD, so I'm high all the time on life.
Like, I'm going to drop some X and I'm going to go goose hunting.
It's more like I'm going to chug a Red Bull and annoy Amanda.
Come here. So that is for the end of the show. And before that, let's go over some stories. Are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. Did you know? We're going to start with some conspiracy theories. Were you aware that the world's top UFO experts are being murdered? One by one, conspiracy theorists claim. Have you heard?
I have not. Let me
bring this up. Some of these may start playing stuff, so fair warning.
Hold on, I'm looking up the name of the guy.
It's an almost perfect conspiracy theory, as the government is actually killing off anyone who gets too close to the truth about UFOs. Weirdly enough, some people seriously believe this and point to a grisly catalog of supposedly accidents and suicides as proof. This week, researchers from MUFON, MUFON, discussed a supposed catalog of people who have died with dozens of names mentioned. John Ventry of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not.
Okay. Did you find your name?
Yes, I did. But I'll let you continue, and then I'll jump onto it.
Okay. Is someone killing off our UFO investigators? In a 10-year period, 137 people in the field have died. That's a lot. Last year, a paranormal investigator, Max Spires, claimed to have survived a secret government super soldier program, and he was then later found dead. And conspiracy fan once again pointed the finger to secretive government agencies, because if you can't figure out why you died, it was the government.
The guy's name is Max Spires. That's a sweet name.
Max conspires. Believers say that dozens have died, with killings stretching back as far as 1947. Dozen people over the span of 70 years? Doesn't seem like a lot. I'm just saying. And the assassination of JFK may have been arranged to stop him revealing the truth about UFOs. UFO YouTuber Tyler of Secure Team 10 says, I've had threats. I've had phone calls. It's disconcerting. All of us who have grown up prominent positions in research, the danger of the government, of those who want to keep you silent grows monumentally. So basically this whole thing goes through talking about Men in Black stuff, which they say are either humans in disguise or government agents, want to stop UFO witnesses from making the sightings public. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think so you said it wasn't that big of a number, but like how many UFO experts really are there?
Well, I'm air quotes experts. Yeah. I would say there was probably anybody that said they've seen a UFO and talked about it probably says they're an expert.
Yeah, but like there are people that like say that, and then there are people that model their whole lives around it. And if these people that like actively pursue this stuff and model their lives around it are just being picked off, or just like dying in accidents or strange ways, I mean, it's possible. I don't want to be conspiracy theory like our government's killing people, man. But
come on, man, don't you see it?
But our government's probably killing people, man. So all right, so famous person.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if you can figure this out. So there is a famous person out there
Mm-hmm.
that is completely, totally obsessed with UFOs and research, and he's co-written a novel. He's like people doing research always reference him and go to him for his insight. So he is a musician.
Oh, I'm out. I was gonna say Dan Aykroyd.
No, well,
He's in
probably,
like
but
paranormal stuff.
yeah, so he is in a band that you've heard of. He's
Okay.
actually in two bands that you've heard of. He started that one of them is his side project from the one.
Is it dude
Three
from
piece,
Tool?
nope, 3-piece band. This will help narrow it down greatly. Pop punk.
Uh, Billy Joel, whatever.
No, what?
From Green Day.
No.
Oh,
Good guess though.
I'm gonna have to tap out on this one. I'm bad with names.
Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
he is incredibly into. He's Blink 182 and Angels and Airwaves. So
Mm-hmm.
he is incredibly into UFO research, and he actually he's like really involved in a lot of stuff. He's writing a book. He has like he's on shows. He's this and that. He actually had to step down from Blink 182 because their touring schedule was interfering with his UFO stuff.
Oh, well,
Yep.
priorities.
Since Blink 182 is his intellectual property, essentially, he said, okay, well, get someone to fill in or be me, and yeah, you
I'll be back
go
when I'm done.
you go do your thing, and I'll still make money off you because Blink 182 is mine, and I'll keep looking at the skies. But yeah, my I'll shout out my buddy Lance Pfeiffer. He actually told me all this. He's a huge Blink 182 fan, and we were talking about paranormal stuff one night. He imparted that wisdom on me, and it blew my mind.
Yeah,
and then I had
neat.
to look into it. Yeah, huge UFO researcher.
So the reason I don't think people are being killed off about UFO sightings and talks about would be the government has a lot more important things to do, because with the UFO person, for the most part, you can just be like, well, but you're crazy. And for the most part, the public believes that. The big reason is, have you ever heard of John Greenwald Jr.?
I have not. Enlighten me.
He is the guy that did the Black Vault. It's still available online. He, because of the Freedom of Information Act, since he was 15 years old, has compiled released documents that he's requested online. A big portion of that stuff being the UFO Project Blue Book, all that stuff. And he has freely and openly released those reports as he's gotten them. He's got a lot of that information actually from Canada, because Canada was a part of that whole investigation as well. So in Canada, you can call
in Canada.
You can basically just call them and be like, I need information on this, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, we'll send it to you. Whereas
that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. But he's still alive, and he's been doing it for like almost 20 years now. So that's the only reason I think. Do I think there might be people that get offed because they figure out something maybe they shouldn't have? Yeah, I think that has and will happen. I don't necessarily think we're killing people in the UFO field, because at the end of the day, you can write off of their stuff as just being a loony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a solid That's a solid argument there. I like that.
Or people are getting killed and we don't know about it. Which is,
people are dying, man.
damn, man, I go in there, saw something in the sky, and I died. Straight up, bullet in the back of the head. Sir, you know you're giving me an interview right now. Yeah, man, I'm dead.
I'm dead. Ghosts are real. I'm a
are real,
ghost
too. Boo. Have you ever been to Casper, Wyoming? Of course you haven't. Police say a central Wyoming man was arrested for a public intoxication, claiming that he had traveled back in time to warn of an alien invasion. Casper police say the man they encountered at 10:30 p.m., super important for this story, no it's not, Monday, claimed that he was from the year 2048. The man told police that he wanted to warn the people of Casper that aliens will arrive next year and that they should leave as soon as possible. He asked to speak to the president of the town. The president of the town. I'll say that again. The president of the town, about 170 miles north of Cheyenne. The man told police he was only able to time travel because aliens filled his body with alcohol. I time travel on alcohol, don't you?
It's the
I can only go in the future.
it's a lubricant to get through the time stream.
It's so you don't catch on fire. He also said that he thought he was transporting himself to 2018. He missed by a year.
Oh, so great! Yes. Why are there so many time travelers
that are drunk?
That are drunk, yeah. I mean, you got to listen to me, Morty. The aliens, Morty.
Rick came to real life and went to Wyoming. You know, aliens could take over Wyoming. I don't think anybody in America would know or care. And no offense if you're from Wyoming, which I know you're not, because again, nobody lives in Wyoming. Like, Wyoming has, like, what, 500,000 people in it? Like, it's ridiculously low amount of people in Wyoming.
Kind of makes me want to move there.
I know, get away from everybody.
Yeah, get away, man.
Hey, man, I died and I moved to Wyoming.
Turns out when you're a ghost, you can go anywhere.
You can literally go anywhere. So why'd you go to Wyoming? Stupid little story. A drunk man thought he time traveled, but in a year, I'll eat my own words if we no longer have Wyoming because Krang took it over.
Krang. Is that from the Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Nice.
He's from Dimension X. Well, I guess. Are you an alien if you're from a different dimension?
You're extraplanar. You're also extraterrestrial because you're from
different.
If you're from anywhere but Earth, you're an extraterrestrial. If you are from anywhere except this reality, you're extraplanar. Yeah.
I was thinking that through. That's a good word. I like that word.
What, extraplanar?
Extraplanar.
Yep.
Extra dimensional planetary.
Nope, like plane as a plane of existence.
So not a butchered version of the Beastie Boys.
No.
Do you believe in or have you ever seen a gigantic bird?
A gigantic bird?
Yes.
I've had some gigantic birds take a dump on my car, but
yes.
Probably not of the magnitude you're talking. Like albatross?
Kind of, yes. Okay, so first off...
It's an albatross!
Oh, man. I was out there and I saw me an albatross right next to that UFO I saw before they killed me.
I don't think anybody that...
can say the word albatross.
Like, I don't think some random person like, hey man, I saw a bird. I think it was an albatross.
That's all an albatross.
Yeah. It's going to be a recurring theme with this podcast. Get ready for more stupid voices.
Ready to be offended if you have a shitty accent. It can't be said that all of the Smiths live a humdrum life. Take, for instance, DJ Smith of Leicestershire, England. In 1992, he wrote for the editor of Flying Saucer Review. His letter is as followed. Dear Mr. Creighton, considerable coverage has been given to the report of gigantic birds seen in the island of Puerto Rico. This immediately apparently I can't read or talk. This immediately jolted my memory back to 1987. It was at 10 a.m., and I was standing alone. One Saturday at the usual street corner. Wait. Every morning, 10 a.m.
Man, that's early.
Street corner. That is... Well,
God.
you could be leaving the pub at that point, too.
That is true.
Yes.
It's true. Or you could be getting off third shift or something.
Well, and then he also points out, 7 a.m., usual street corner, no traffic on the road. Yes, 7 a.m. on a Saturday. And nobody was in sight. I felt disoriented and apprehensive. I glanced to my left, and there, passing slowly, some 10 feet or so above the adjacent building, was a horrendous wing flapping contraption traveling at maybe 10 miles per hour or so. I was absolutely flummoxed. And U.S. Air Force, I had served as an observer, so I know that it was not seeing anything normal, far from it. I estimated the wingspan of the thing in terms of the artificial contraption to have been about 30 feet. The thing had a head, good, which it kept turning this way and that. It had a beak, like the beak of an eagle, and could only describe its eyes as having some evil intent. I stood there transfixed and never took my eyes off the bird until about 2 minutes. It had passed out of the field of vision. So he's claiming to seen a rather large pterodactyl-like bird.
Who's the author of that?
It was from...
That guy used killer adjectives, man.
Yes, this guy was really good. It was from the Flying Saucer Review. It was page 25 and volume 37, number 3. It was the editor's comment.
Like, that story gripped me with the adjectives, dude.
It's
I was transfixed.
I was completely paralyzed. I could not look directly at the globe for fear of it being blinded by it. But the overall impression of the experience seemed to be benign. Nothing of a nightmare nature. The globe and the creature left me by simply diminishing in light and intensity, and the room darkened again. I felt that I could move once more and read the numerals of my clock radio.
Dude.
This guy was really good. He talks. That's the second part. He talks about having a visitation from a globe-like structure. Also used the word oaken walk-in wardrobe. So there you go.
Oaken walk-in wardrobe.
Yes.
That dude should be writing novels.
I know. I mean,
that story gripped me. Good adjectives make for good reads.
And that's why I say very and really all the time.
It was very good. It was really very good.
It was very unique. Have you ever heard of the Thunderbird? Or the famous Thunderbird picture? That's that Google thing I have on Discord.
So, my inner nerd, well, not really inner nerd, it's not like I'm hiding it. I got a freaking tabletop gaming website, but my nerd...
You're a nerd?
Oh my god, yeah.
Nerd!
Let me roll a d20 to determine that.
You have a plus one in? I can't even
I got plus one in nerding. Yeah. So my nerd's coming out here. I have not read anything about a Thunderbird, but there are numerous references to it in tabletop gaming and Magic the Gathering.
So you have an idea what it is. If you go to that Google page, there's different pictures. The picture in particular is the famous Thunderbird picture. The picture looks like a pterodactyl, even has the wings on the back end of the legs. There's two really cool things about this. Is A, that story I just read, very similar in what he thought he saw. Except for the eagle beak, where if you look at a couple of the other pictures, you get that eagle-looking beak. Number two, there are people that swear they have seen this picture before, but it was not this picture.
What?
So the picture I'm talking about is with all the lumberjack-looking guys. They're all in flannel. There are people that swear that this is not the original picture of the Thunderbird.
Okay, so let me picture with lumberjack guys.
Yeah. Just put in the Thunderbird picture.
Oh, I thought you posted it in the...
I did. It's in the Google.
No, I thought you posted it in the chat. The
No, I'm sorry. It's in the stories.
so
The Thunderbird picture.
Thunderbird picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is interesting is that the picture, which I mean, it's
So
probably fake, but
yeah.
the fact that there are people that swear that there was this picture and this was an advertisement for something. Other people swear that no, there's another picture out there, and this picture was put in like National Geographic or some other magazine back in the day, and that's what they remember seeing. So it goes back to the Mandela effect, where people
Yes.
personally misremember, but they misremember so well that it becomes a true memory, and there's a majority of people that think that way. Like, I'm a Berenstain Bear guy.
Yeah. It's not Berenstain.
Yeah, but it clearly is.
Yeah, it is. In this reality, it is.
I need you to click on the next one. It's the Coast to Coast AM. Ghost Hunter captures eerie image of female spirit.
Are you? What are you in? You're in.
The stories in Discord here.
Oh, okay.
Submitted paranormal stories.
Okay.
So it's about right in the middle.
Which one? Which one is it?
It is the Coast to Coast link. Eerie abnormal photograph.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to take a look. It's a YouTube video. The other pictures look kind of weird, but that first picture you see before you can click on the link is what they're talking about. A paranormal investigator in England believes he may have photographed the ghost of a woman said to lurk at a haunted pub. The image was taken. By the way, if I was going to haunt a place, it probably would be a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, homely, you know. The image was taken while ghost hunter Andrew Williamson was conducting an investigation at a site known as the Griffin Inn in England city of Wakefield. Allegedly able to sense the presence of a spirit around him, Williamson purportedly felt that he was not alone during the visit at the pub, although he was the only living person there at the time. As such, he snapped some photos of the area where he suspected the ghost might have been and used the long shutter speed in an attempt to capture a spirit on film. So right there is, I'm going to stop there. They're talking a little bit more about it, but the first thing that comes to my mind is he took a picture with a long shutter speed. Because that can affect sometimes even a little bit of a movement can cause distortion.
Yes. That's why, like, if you look at like older photos, there's always like jokes about like no one ever smiled back in the 1800s. It's because you had to sit there and hold a pose, and it would suck to sit there and smile for minutes. But yeah, if something moved quickly, you'll see it in the panorama pictures that people take. Like, have you seen the one of like a cat walking across the room?
Yeah.
And it looks like a giant sausage cat. But
it's like Nine Cat, but there's no rainbow.
Yeah, that could happen. That's if they're like, see, that's a thing with personal experiences.
Yeah.
If someone walking, if you're by yourself and you got that, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But it's very neat. If you get a chance, it's Coast to Coast AM. It was an article from, I believe, the 3rd of October. You can check it out in their article section. So the YouTube video had a couple other things. There was a couple other interesting photos, but more orbs, a little bit of smokiness on the pictures. So pretty interesting. I just want to go over that one because I thought the picture was pretty interesting. Not very good for podcasting, but have you ever gotten a photo that comes out sort of like that?
I haven't, but some members of my my team, Outlaw Paranormal, have.
Okay. Oh, damn it. The next. There we go. It stopped. Okay. What do you think about brain in a vat theory? Do you know what that is?
Like simulated reality?
Yes.
So do I think it's possible? I
Sure.
think I think with the way our I think with the way our technology is going, it's possible. Um, there have been some theories that can kind of disprove it. Like, are you familiar with not the edible pie, but the mathematical pie?
Yes,
So, what's unique about the number pi?
is that it continues on forever.
Yes. So that right there shows you that it's hard. It'd be hard to have a simulation in a world where there's an infinite number. How would you? How would your? How would the system process that? It would
Yeah.
have to. Infinite number implies infinite data.
Yep.
Even if the number's small, and even if each individual number of electronic data is just minuscule with physical size, you multiply that by infinity, and you got an infinite sized, you know, space.
Yes.
So I think our current technology, it's not possible, but
This is actually exactly what this article talks about. Are we living in the Matrix? It's impossible, says quantum physicist. And who am I to disagree with a quantum physicist? I got a degree in counseling. it's, it's a question that philosophers had asked since the dawn of philosophy itself. What's real? And that's the whole brain in a vat theory. Is if you were just a brain in a vat and this is a simulation, what do you know to be real? And the answer is you know you're real. That's it. Because you are controlling you. So you know you're real, but nothing else is real. Everything you see and process is being processed in from that brain in a vat. So as we perceive, and what is real is the world as we perceive it really the world, and how can we know the one way or another? The latest version of the age-old conundrum, popularized in 1999, science fiction film The Matrix, puts things in modern technology terms. Before I continue, they're talking about remaking The Matrix.
why?
It's not that old.
It's not that old, and it like why? It doesn't need it.
As long as you don't do a trilogy with it, do the first movie over again, I guess.
See, I really
I
like
like
the
the first
trilogy.
movie.
I like all of them.
I liked the first one. Second one was okay. I will be 100% honest. Did not watch the third one.
Uh, so the third one starts to lose itself in its own prophetic, like I don't know. I think it takes itself too seriously with the. I'm playing with a lightsaber toy. That's what that noise is.
Choo, choo.
Yeah. So I think it lost itself in its own prophetic like writing, but dude, it has people in like exo mech armor fighting off the Sentinels. Like, it has Neo fighting off thousands of Agent Smiths. Like,
That's cool. I have seen
God,
that part.
I'm gonna put this down. So I keep
playing
making
with
it.
it, sure.
Yeah.
While
So
you're doing that, I'm looking for my
aside
damn
from
charger.
aside from some of the parts in it that have horrible CG because I think they rushed it,
Yes.
um, I think the movie's solid for what it is. Now, do I think they need to remake The Matrix? Hell no.
No.
Stay away from it. What? Oh man.
Well, if they did remake it, that's the only way it's possible. So, thankfully, the plot of The Matrix is not only implausible, it's actually impossible. At least that's according to a pair of quantum physicists, Zohar Rengel and Dmitry Kozerchin from the University of Oxford and the
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yo, man, I was out there talking to my quantum physicist friends, Zohari, Rangel, and Dmitry Kozerchin.
Sounds about right.
In the Hebrew University in Israel. They crunched the numbers and found that computing power needed to simulate the universe, all the way down to the quantum level, would require a memory built from more atoms than there are in the universe itself. Counter argument. If we are just a simulation, you don't know how big the actual reality is, though. Just saying.
What's reality of like The Matrix?
What they would say reality is. If we're just a simulation, they're basing their numbers off of what they know our simulation to be.
Well, obviously the answer is anything that's out of sight, immediate reach or sight of humanity is not rendered.
Well, yeah, duh. Yeah, you render it as it goes. Good
Yeah,
call.
like Skyrim.
Yeah. If you're not talking to somebody, that non-playable character doesn't have dialogue.
Yeah, they're not there. They're
They're
just
not
a
there.
piece. They're just a little code of data that
If
says they will be there when you want to talk to them.
if I never go into a Walmart, the Walmart does not exist
It doesn't physically
in my
exist,
reality.
but the data point there for it says. So
Is ready to load whenever I go in.
here's what I say. So if this is so to me, I'm real.
Yes.
But to you, you're real. You probably think I could not be real.
Yeah.
If if like for example, if Amanda was in a simulation, how cruel is that? That like I am here and I annoy her so much,
And she
like,
chose to have you there.
and yes, and my coding makes me incredibly annoying. Like that's what my purpose is.
It could
Like
just
my
be bad programming.
Amanda, I'll tell you what, my 01s tell me I got a fart.
I was gonna 01101, but I actually 01111 Nerd.
Oh man, that's so funny.
From their experiment, the researchers focused on a particular problem known as Monte Carlo simulation, also known as the theorem Hall conducent to condensed matter physics. And you know what? Never mind. What they're saying is there's too much shit in the world for it to possibly be a simulation. And it even talks about you would have to figure out gravitational abnormalities, the compilation and complexity. Also shows that the theorem Hall, the thing I just talked about, is a genuine quantum effect, one of which no local classical analog exists. What it's saying, we have stuff in the world that even the world can't simulate.
How? What?
So how are you simulating a world, simulating something you can't simulate?
Huh.
Makes sense. What I find interesting about this article is the whole discussion of if we are a brain in a vat, how interesting, how not interesting am I making my life?
Right? If I'm a brain in a vat, why do I work every day?
If I'm a brain in the vat, why do I work where I work every day?
No.
I'm gonna give you some gumbo. I don't know what that accent was. I'm sorry.
It sounded like it started out Cajun and then it just went like I don't, English is my like third language and I barely can.
I don't know how to say.
Huh.
This one's right up your alley, okay? RealityBeyondMatter.com. Elon Musk. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, Tesla Motors.
Oh, yeah. And he wants to go to Mars by 2020.
Get your ass to Mars.
To Mars.
Oh, Quaid, stop the reactor. Oh, free Mars.
Come closer.
We just need a sound clip of Arnold just from Total Recall, just that part where he gets like blown out the hatch and he's on Mars without the masters.
That scene when I was a kid, scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I see you at the party, Richter.
Now we have sex. Come here.
I saw a woman with 3 boobies.
I don't want to go back to reality.
You know what I thought when I first saw that movie when I was younger?
3 boobs is too many.
No, I thought I'm going to Mars, man.
They're already there filming.
I'm excited.
I am. As recent as a decade ago, avid UFO and extraterrestrial researchers were unable to speak openly about their research without being ridiculed. Today, the topic has gained considerable credibility and popularity, so much so that not only are high-ranking figures from military, political, and academic spheres speaking out, but also popular global figures as well. The particular and particularly a prestigious conference around the world previously classified documents that had been released from dozens of governments, as we talked earlier. The 2011 Global Competitiveness Forum, at which a number of prominent scientists attended, featured a lecture by Jacques Vallée. I said that name right, actually.
Jacques Vallée.
Jacques Vallée. Notable for co-developing the first computerized mapping of Mars for NASA. And that's actually how I knew him. I knew that, weirdly enough. Let's see here. Let's get to the point of... There we go. The latest major figure to comment on extraterrestrials. What? Extraterrestrials? Interplanetary? Was Elon Musk, founder, CEO, and CTO of SpaceX, and co-founder, CEO, and product architect of Tesla Inc. Aside from phenomenal businessman, God, we know who he is, people. He said, when I was a kid, I was wondering kind of, Jesus Christ, okay, sorry, I read through this article, but it's long-winded. Some of those things are in having long-term sustainable transport and sustainable energy generation, and to be a space-bearing civilization, and for humanity to be out there among the stars and be a multiplanetary species. I think being a multi-planet species and being out there among the stars is important for a long-term survival of humanity. He's actually not the only one that says that. Why can't I think of his name? Stephen Hawking says that it is very important as a species to survive, that we need to get off this planet. So...
yeah, statistics. You have all one race consolidated into, or all of one species consolidated onto one planet, instead of being spread out. One catastrophic disaster, we're all dead.
Yes.
But now you have us spanned out on 2 planets. What's the likelihood we'll survive? 3 planets, 4 planets, goes on.
Well, in the inevitabilityness of the sun doing what the sun will do, you need to figure out how to get to something different.
What, give me melanoma? Turn into a red hypergiant?
Yes, that's more... the second one being more catastrophic. Not to you, necessarily. If you get melatonin, that sucks. Melatonin, you know what I mean. Melanoma.
Melanoma,
I've had 4 hours of sleep. I can't even think. In the snippet in his interview, he states that there are super intelligent extraterrestrials somewhere out there, which is the generally agreed upon scientific hypothesis. What was the word I just said there?
Hypothesis.
Kissed.
The hippopotamus.
In other news, Monty from the Monty and Boggsimus had a stroke in the middle of the freaking show. Hypothesis. I can't even say it. They're probably already observing us. That would seem quite likely, and we're just not smart enough to realize it. So Elon Musk agrees with you. We are the stupidest people on the universe.
I'm just going to revel in the fact that
you're right.
Yeah.
While I don't disagree, we are pretty stupid. I can't even say hypothesis correctly.
Hippopotamus
correctly. There's a good chance that the hypothesis is very true. That there is a pretty good chance if we've done this, and there's an infinite right now. I mean, there's a finite, but there's an infinite amount of places that have intelligent life. There's a good chance that there's an infinite amount of that intelligent life that can do a lot more things than we can do. So space travel, interstellar space travel, whatever it may be. So very interesting. Do you have anything to add to your celebratory I was right speech?
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. I am going to go take my position at Tesla Motors and SpaceX. Um, it's been great talking with all you, but the stars call me, and yeah,
I'm going to Mars with Elon Musk. Oh, by the way, there was a book back in like the 1800s where a man named Elon championed the first expedition to Mars. What? I mean, that's not a very common name, right?
maybe that's why his parents named him that.
Cause and effect. That is very true. But I'm gonna say you're wrong. I have no reason behind it.
I'm probably wrong.
You're probably right. Okay, let's get to the topic du jour. Um, Article from azcentral.com talks about how we view ghost hunting very differently on television. And the title of the post is Why Those TV Ghost Hunting Shows Are Transparently Fake. They're not even saying it's fake. They're saying it's transparently fake. On a fuzzy green screen, you see a t-shirted man pointing a small electronic recorder towards the murky corner. He swivels his head toward the camera, his eyes glowing like orbs. This is where where a figure of a small girl has been sighted on numerous occasions. The man says in a hushed voice, "We're hoping she's in the mood to answer some holy bleeping. Something touched me." The frame jumps and blurs before focusing on a man's face as he looks in shock, and is largely ghost hunting theater, according to one Phoenix longtime paranormal investigator. Basically, he agrees with you that never happens like that. So what do you think?
Well, there are numerous reports out there from people that have worked on these shows that the networks stage thing and do things to spice the show up.
Yes.
Um, I do think there are moments on the shows that are genuine. Having gone through experiences myself, but I don't know. There are times I'm just like, come on, that's clearly that's bullcrap.
So walk me through. I know we've kind of done this, but okay. So you're going to go investigate a place. Walk me through day of what your typical day / night of that ghost hunt is.
Usually before you go, you'll do some research on the location, just to make sure you're not going in there unprepared and blind. Um, Show up a few hours before it gets dark, to set up like your base of operations, get your equipment sorted, this and that, set up your equipment, walk through the location so you have a good understanding of its layout. Then you will divide into teams if you're with multiple people in your group. Divide into teams, make sure you're not stepping on each other's toes essentially, and make sure you're going far enough away from each other to where you're not interfering with evidence. That's like instruments picking up people in another room or whatnot. Again, that's why I don't like recorders when there are multiple people on an investigation, because a lot of times you'll just pick up them talking in the other room, because a lot of these recorders are ultra sensitive. But investigate for usually 6 to 8 hours, and then pack up your gear, go home, and next day or a few weeks later go over the evidence and on to the next.
So when we're doing this, okay, I'm with you. Your day, you're probably talking, like you said, 8 hours, 6 hours, maybe 4 if you're just doing it for fun. Because they do those things where you can go for a couple hours, do a tour, do whatever you want, but they're not very long. But in any of those cases, would you say 90% of your night is filled with nothing? 80%, 50%? What do you think?
I'd say 90% is the more accurate number, he said.
Yeah.
Like I've joked around with people that, like, every time I tell them, like, oh, I'm a paranormal investigator, they're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I bet you so many ridiculous things happen. Most of the time, it's sitting in the dark, bullshitting with a friend.
Mm-hmm. And hoping you catch something or see something.
Yep. A lot of the times, it's literally just sitting in the dark, half asleep, or you're amped from all the energy drinks you've pounded, and you're wired, and you're just goofing off. That's mostly what they are.
Yeah. So, did you watch the Ghost Hunters? Did you
Yeah.
watch it when it originally came out? It was like 2006, correct?
Um, Manda has a lot of the DVDs, and we've watched a lot of the earlier in the not really the newest episodes. Like there was to up until a point that we watched them, and then I kind of
You just
lost
can't.
interest in them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Ghost Hunters bores the shit out of me.
Well, and especially when they change formats. So this is exactly what this guy is talking about, and it's what a lot of people are talking about is TAPS, which is the Ghost Hunters, which is what the Atlantic Paranormal or something like that.
Transatlantic Paranormal Society.
Paranormal Society. They're real. This is a real thing. They really go around and investigate. They really were around before this television show ever happened.
Yeah.
The guys really worked at Roto-Rooter. I mean, this is real stuff. And what interests me was actually the first 2 or 3 seasons, because the first 2 or 3 seasons, there were often times that show they found nothing.
Yes.
They would do the whole show. They would talk about the history. They would go into a house, and at the end, they were like, "We found nothing. We found nothing." And to a normal viewer, that's boring. That's not interesting. Because I invested an hour. I want to hear a ghost. I want to see a ghost. But for me, it was like, no, I want to hear the history, and I want them to come out and say, we didn't find anything. Because to me, that's a build-up for the show when they do find something. That's what I liked about the first few seasons. Now, as they went along, like you said, it got boring because every show they found something. Every show they saw something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a lot of investigations, and there are some where a lot happened, and there are some where nothing happened.
Yeah.
There are some where like a little bit of things happened. So just to have a team of people go around across the country to constantly get stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, I like the show Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures is a fun show.
I love that show, and I think especially with these like later seasons, they have been going to some they're not just going to like Bill of Bob's barn. Oh man, I think I saw ghosts there once. No, they're going to like extremely known haunted locations that have like ridiculous thing happen. Or ridiculously things I can't even speak. Ridiculous things happen.
It's infectious, isn't it?
It is. Your hippopotamus is rubbing off on me.
That didn't sound right. We're gonna cut that.
But I like Ghost Adventures because it's entertaining. Like not just like entertaining in the fact that they like get evidence. It's entertaining with the portrayal, like how they have actors like portraying the scenes. They get like really deep into history. And I think those guys are hilarious. So
yeah, they are pretty funny.
That's why I like that show.
Yeah. So going back to, so you had your style. There were not really ghost hunting shows up until about 2006. In 2006, you get the Ghost Hunters. They went in. It could be very boring, but it was interesting. Then after that, you had show after show start popping up, and then you end up with what actually the next step I was going to go to is Ghost Adventures. Adventurers, right? Yeah, Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures.
Errors.
No, it's just Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventurers.
Nope.
Ghost Adventure and Edgers.
Yep. Ghost Badgers. Ghost Badgers.
So these badgers go out and they look for ghosts. So that show, more sensationalized, I think, personally, more to me, faster paced. They were finding. Go ahead.
Faster paced, more visually appealing.
Yes.
With their editing and their cinematography and just the locations they choose to go to, and how deep they get into the history and stuff. Like,
they go into depth. That's why I like
Yes.
Ghost Hunters International, because almost everywhere they went was like, oh, we're going to this cool ass castle. Like, hell yeah, I like castles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to go to a cool ass castle.
Well, the thing with that is, well, you can just go down Flint Ridge.
What?
There's a castle on Flint Ridge Road. You've never seen that?
Is it the one that's on the hill?
Yeah, the dude built a castle.
Yeah, the tattoo shop that I hang out at, that I know a bunch of the artists.
Uh-huh.
There's a guy that goes there. That's his dad.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Is it haunted?
I don't think so, but we actually tried to talk him into letting us take some photos there for the band.
Yeah.
But
that would be actually pretty awesome.
We could probably do if we pursued it again, but we kind of gave him too short of notice. But anyway,
can we just come to your castle and take pictures?
If I had a castle, I'd be like, hell yeah, come to my
yeah,
castle.
Man. Oh yeah, man.
Eureka's castle.
Oh my god. Let's play What References Did You Think You Wouldn't Talk About Tonight? 1, being Eureka's castle.
2, Ryan's Magellan the Dragon.
3, The Elephant Show. I digress. So you get to Ghost Hunters, and you went to Ghost Hunters International. And even at that point, like, they did some weird things. I think Ghost Hunters got way into the personality of the people. So you had that one dude that was really weird that would quit and then come back, and then he'd quit, and then they'd fight, and then, you know what I mean? Whereas Adventurers.
Yep.
They would go out, they would, like I said, they would get immediately to what they were doing. Almost everywhere they go was like really cool. But even they have fallen victim to the jump scares, the jump to commercial with the creepy music.
Yes.
What is that? Oh, nothing. You know, that stuff. But they do that because, like you said, they're pushed to do that because it's supposed to be entertaining.
Yeah, they have to keep you entertained.
Yeah. Do I think they're purposely going out of their way to deceive people? I personally don't. I think, have they done things or said they've seen things or whatever it may be when they really didn't? Yeah, maybe. But I think overall they are trying to go out and say, I really do want to see or find something cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to stage anything. It's just...
What's the point? Why are you doing it if you're making it up?
Just start a fiction.
Yeah, start a movie company and make horror movies.
There you go.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity is creepy. Doesn't make it real. Doesn't make it ghost hunting. So, do I think... Okay, here's a good question we can end on. Do you think that these shows have hurt or helped the ghost hunting community?
The community? It's got more people into it. As a whole, I think it's got people thinking that every investigation they're going to go on is going to be ridiculous. So I think it's just set the bar for expectations a little too high. It's definitely helped the economy in regards to ghost hunting locations. A lot of places can now bank on the fact that, like, oh, ghost hunters or ghost adventures have been here.
Yeah.
What's or hey, we're
around here.
A big farm.
The farm that it's supposedly very, very haunted, and the ghost hunters have been there. God, it's gonna drive me. It's not that far away from us.
Really?
That's gonna drive me nuts. I can't think of it, but it'll pop in my head, and I'll tweet it out or whatever. But they had exactly that. What you said is they had people coming all the time. It was like $10, tours, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And now they get an absorbent amount. And that was one of the shows that they didn't really find anything. They told a really good story of the history, as my dog inside out sneezes behind me. They told a really good story. They had a really good location, but at the end of the day, they didn't really find anything. And even that had them gain like popularity beyond what they originally knew. So yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, like like I said, I've been on a lot of investigations, and one of my favorite locations that we went to is in I believe it's in Galleon. It's called the Brownella Cottage. And we didn't get much evidence there, but that building is just so freaking awesome. I would have just been content walking around and looking at the antiques in there, or looking through the books and stuff. Like even if it wasn't an investigation, the lights were on, I would have completely been cool just with hanging out there.
Yeah. And that's a cool about some of the locations you end up at is and I'm talking from somebody that's never done it, you know what I mean? You get to go somewhere kind of cool for the most part. Some places you're just, it is what it is. But a lot of places, they're destination places. You want to go, you want to check it out. And even if you see nothing, it's very cool. For me, in local around here, the Buxton Inn, I love going to that place. I think it's a very awesome place. If you don't see the ghost cat, it doesn't mean I didn't have a good time there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, overall, I say the exposure outweighs the negative press maybe that those shows give.
Yeah, I agree. And I do want to say that, like, for a few weeks I've been alluding to the fact that I'm going to reveal some evidence from a ghost hunt at the Lafayette. Well, that meeting got postponed again. It actually should be tomorrow. I should be going to it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I will try to see what kind of evidence we can pull from it.
So we might have a show next week with exclusive.
Correct. If they can transfer me, like send me the files, and we might have some audio and stuff for that.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's an awesome thing. I hope you find lots of things. You've been preluding to it, but you said you experienced a lot of awesome things. So I'm hoping that relates into some really good information that'll be good plug and push out to the inevitable reveal on your Facebook page. Columbus RIP, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, well, I think we've significantly and successfully wasted an hour of your time. So we will be back every week. We will back. We'll be back next week, talking something Halloweeny. I am going to be reviewing another B horror movie, and we will go through some news of the weird. So, do you have anything to add or plug?
Just Columbus RIP and Outlaw Paranormal Posse.
And again, you can check me out at Monty the Yank on Twitter. We do want ghost stories still. I want those to come in. So don't be afraid. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your gender. You don't have to give your sexual preference. All I need is your ghost story. So we would like to read some during Halloween.
Just submit us your dang stories, man.
Just want your stories. That's not too much to ask. So anyways, until next time, I am Monty the Yank, and with me, like I love it, is Boggsimus, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Have a good week, guys.